following podcast contains adult themes, sexual content, and adult language. But would you rather have it any other way?
Alright, so welcome to the Would You Rather podcast, where we tackle some of the hardest, most offensive, and slightly awkward Would You Rather questions. Today's question is, would you rather the first 90% of a blowjob or the last 10%? I'm your host, and today on the bands panel, I have half the cast of the Village people.
Wow. I don't know what the Village is.
YMCA?
Nope.
Isaac?
Yep.
How you doing today?
Good.
Thank you for coming.
That's okay.
And my favourite gay bros, Mervyn?
Yes.
Hello, Mervyn.
Hello.
Thank you for waking up to come today.
You're welcome.
And,
you.
and Sago.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Sago. So, 90%, the first 90% of the last 10%. Thoughts?
So, would you rather receive? So, yeah, obviously. Because the other way around, I think it's pretty obvious.
Is it though? Is giving...
Wait,
like,
did you even ask the question?
Yeah, I asked... Oh my god, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have missed it.
The blowjob one.
God.
No, but did you ask it in the
Yeah, I
recording?
just did. Yeah, I just did.
Really?
Yeah. First 90% of the last 10%. Okay, so let's just go with receiving then first.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like, why wouldn't you just go the last 10%? Really?
It's the journey, not the destination.
It's the climb.
I'm going to have a think. So, if you choose the first 90%,
Yeah.
you
get
like to
it
do
all.
stuff afterwards?
No, you don't. Well, the first 90% implies that you don't get to come, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah. So, it's just a...
So you can't come for the rest of the day, kind of thing.
yeah, I
That's
guess.
your allotment, and you've been...
Yeah, you've been cut off. Yeah.
You've been cut off.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, nothing happened.
Just
Well,
that 90%
I guess-
of a blowjob.
That's the question though. Like, if you are going to choose the first 90%, maybe you're just into some kind of like BDSM, like you've got a cage around your dick, and, like, and then you're just like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly
maybe
what I
you
want.
like that.
Edging the whole
edging,
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be like an edgy thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that
So-
I guess it just depends on what you're into. Like,
So is this more of like a personal?
Yeah, it would be like it would be personal, wouldn't it? Which one would you prefer,
So-
and why?
If I get cut off, can I still like jerk off later and come? Just certain like
No, I feel like
Really?
I feel like that would be unfair.
like you
Right.
could never do it again. Like, you just get a 90% blowjob, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah.
can't come for the rest of your life.
Look,
What if, like-
but let's think of it within the context of just the blowjob itself, and like ignore
Okay.
all extra factors. So regardless of what you do outside of that,
Okay.
so in that moment, so either you're already hard and you get that last 10%, or you get that first 90% of the climb.
Well, I mean, like honestly, most of the time when I'm receiving head, I probably don't come from that, so I usually do have the 90%
Okay,
anyway.
sure.
Like, so, and then
But
usually
is
there'll be
that
something else.
is that an experience of you've never came from a blowjob before?
Never.
Never.
Wow. So what if so maybe that's just like an experience thing. Like if you experience that, you're like, fuck. It could
Maybe I just need
change.
to find the right man out there for
Yeah.
me. Just like do me right.
The right guy with the right mouth.
Yeah. So
Treat yourself.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So that that makes sense. So you already know what the first 90% is like, and you're happy with that.
But then at the same time, if you just had the 10%, then you probably just have like severe premature ejaculation problems. Because someone's just like putting their mouth over your penis and then you just ejaculate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
what happens with that? So that's
No, but I mean, like, it could just be a fact of you've been hard for a while, right?
And then
And
you just blow.
and this is like the end bit where you just need to blow.
Okay, so
right?
were you foreplaying before the last 10% of that blowjob?
Yeah, you could be, yeah. Because
Oh, that's-
what happens before that doesn't really matter within the context of the actual blowjob, right?
So in that case, that's
So you could basically be just like jerked off for like an X amount of time and then they put their mouth on your penis and then that's the 10%, you just come.
Yeah.
pretty easy choice then, because
Why is it easy?
this one, anything that happens before is okay, but with if you choose the 90%,
The other one, you just never come again.
Yeah.
the last 10% just is zero.
Yeah, but you have to disregard. You have to disregard the thought of anything that happened beforehand. So like,
Disregard.
whatever you thought about, like how you got there, you have to disregard that. So
Like
don't
even
think
how.
about like, what happened before that moment, right?
Be
Just focus on the blowjob itself, though, right? Just focus on the moment that the mouth touches your dick.
I'm all about making love there.
Oh my god. Get out of here.
I actually threw up a little in my mouth.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Even Sago doesn't believe that.
I wish it's a 10% because
Yeah, because you.
I don't really come from blowjobs either.
Oh, there you go.
So like,
But you would choose the last
the 10% is like a really good feeling when it does happen.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
If I could choose for that to
Yeah.
happen, I would. I mean, like, that would be nice to...
Because you already know what the 90%'s like, right?
Yeah, exactly.
okay, fair enough. So you'd be curious to know what the last 10%.
I know what
Wait,
it's like. It feels better than the 90%.
I definitely orgasm.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Does it change then if we role reverse this? Okay. So now instead of receiving or giving.
Well, I mean, if I was giving a blowjob and they just, like, came in my mouth and be like, cool, good job. Great. Like, yeah.
Pat them back.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, great, I did a good job. You enjoyed yourself. Everyone's happy.
Ego boost.
Let's go watch some Netflix. Chill. It's fine. But yeah, like, if you just had the 90%, that can go on indefinitely. That's like, you could just be sucking some guy's dick who's never going to come.
Yeah, if you're talking Isaac.
Yeah, it's me.
Be forever.
And it's just, yeah, that'd just be, and you know, your jaw gets tired, your mouth gets tired,
Yeah.
hands get tired,
So
everything
I
gets tired.
guess it depends on who you're sucking off.
If they've got a little, like, chotus, maybe you can just be like, no one can see what I'm doing.
Why does it matter who it is?
Because sometimes
That's
you.
in.
It also matters how big the dick is.
Yeah, like, dick quality matters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
like-
if it's huge.
If you enjoy going on it for a long time, or just make him come and get it over and done with.
Okay. But that feels like it's more about like how you feel about that person rather than how you feel
Yeah,
about that
and what you're
penis.
getting out of it,
Yeah, but every penis is different.
like snowflakes.
Yeah.
Okay, what if you really dislike that person, but they have a really, really attractive penis? Like they have a really cute penis, you know what I'm saying?
I think that's definitely a thing. You could definitely, like,
Yeah.
you could be attracted to someone that you really hate. You'd be like, hate fucked up.
I think if they have a really nice penis, then are you asking if which one I would choose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so nice penis and
But you just didn't
some
like the
guy
person
that
at
don't
all.
like.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It depends how much. Depends in what way I don't like him. Like, do I?
Oh my god.
What is the degree of hatred? Well, look, I
I
had...
just suck it or not.
Like if. No. Probably choose 10%.
Okay.
Because if I didn't like him, I probably just want to make him come and then have something against him. Like.
What the
like
fuck?
blackmail about it.
Blackmail them?
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna blackmail you with the jizz in my mouth?
Not blackmail him, but like, you're a fucking faggot. I just made you came.
Oh, okay, so
Like
suddenly
10
it's a,
seconds.
like, homophobic thing. Like, okay.
Because I can't think of anyone else I would hate.
Do you have to, do they have to come in your mouth? Or can you just sort of like,
Come anywhere you want.
Oh,
like,
okay,
you
so
take your mouth off at the end? Like,
okay, so that's another factor, right? So, I mean, does it make a difference if you pick the last 10%? Does it make a difference if they come in your mouth, they come in your face, or they come
And see,
somewhere
like,
else?
I don't like, you know, all that stuff is fine, but at the end of the day, it's just really messy. You have to clean it up. Just come in the mouth, like, it's done.
Okay, but would it affect your decision for the last? Actually, you picked the first 90%, didn't you? Or did
No, I picked the 10% because
to give, yeah, that's right.
Ah, to give, yeah.
Yeah. Would your decision change if it was like they had to come on your face? Like you had no choice about that. It had to be just.
No, I'd be fine with it, I guess. Like, you know, there's a
Over
lot of
what?
different things that can
On
be
your-
going on with that coming on your face.
Yeah,
Or,
okay.
Like, you know, they're like, I want to come on your armpit. You're like,
Okay.
maybe. yeah.
Chicken arms, alright.
I don't know. Like, the whole I want to come here thing, it doesn't really matter. Like, whatever. I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Like people's obsessions about where they want to come. But I think it's more about almost like an art thing, right? It's
There's a
like
lot of cum shot porn out there, and it's just like,
It's like I created this, and
Yeah, I
look
have
at
so
how it
much.
lands, and yeah, it's kind of like if you took like a brush with a whole bunch of paint, just went flicked on the wall. Like look at this, mum, I made this.
Jackson Pollock, like, oh god, oh.
Alright, what about you, Sago? Does it make a difference? If I said, like, they had to come on your face.
If it tasted really gross, I wouldn't want it in my mouth, so I'll prefer it on my face. Like,
But like, you're not
between
going to
two
know
options.
that it's going to taste.
Yeah,
bad
you won't know until you
it's
actually
out.
taste it, right?
You're going to taste it amazing, and it's just like, I guess if it's on your face, you
So
can
it's the
just,
option between on your face and in your mouth.
No, I'm saying, like, does
Does it affect
it affect your decision?
your decision?
Yeah, if
choose
yeah,
the 90.
yeah, to choose, yeah, to
Well,
choose the
if it's a
90%.
really nice
That's hard.
cock, I think I wouldn't care about swallowing because it's just like whatever. I'm in the mood for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but that feels more like it's the person, right?
You can like cut off the top of their head. Like from the neck upwards, it won't really matter.
Okay,
Like,
sure,
You know.
sure. But what if it was? I said like, yeah, it has to land on your face, and you don't get the option.
I think if it lands on the face, then that's fine. But
No, it'd be your face.
I'm not
Be
uncomfortable
your
with
face,
having
mate.
cum on my face.
neither.
yeah.
Like
That's pretty
it's
easy.
just cum.
Yeah, but that's see, that's interesting to me
Deal with
because
that all the time.
is there no fear like at any point in time in like with
your eyes?
Yeah, with yeah.
Close your
Pink
eyes.
eye. Oh no.
Comes with practice.
To what
Yeah.
preempt it, like to preempt like the okay
Pretty much.
Most guys have the courtesy to tell you.
to
when
tell you
they're
okay to give you that tap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if he doesn't give you the tap?
Like, hey bro. Sometimes,
Oh.
yeah, it just happens.
I'm guessing it has happened to like everyone, right? At least once.
What, in the eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotten in my eye before, but I didn't like
Maybe.
die or anything.
You didn't die.
I'm still here.
Is it still like a really painful experience though?
No.
It's like getting soap in your eye. Like,
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's a painful experience.
It's, okay, it's probably milder than getting soap in your eye. There you go. Like, it's really not that bad. It's all just water and protein and
Yeah.
whatever.
It's just really uncomfortable. It's unnecessary.
Okay, fair enough. And it's not hard to wash out or anything.
Yeah.
That I can imagine. Yeah, if you put it like soap, I guess it's easier to understand in terms of like you can just
Wipe it off.
as long as it doesn't like soap froths when you wash it. So semen doesn't really have the same properties. Does your enjoyment in terms of giving versus receiving change on the person?
It's the penis, not the person.
Is that true?
It's like the task at hand, right? And so
Yeah, it's more like seeing the genitalia and being like,
Yeah.
that is something that I want in my mouth. And then not really, but the rest of it's kind of
Okay,
like,
so there's
yeah,
so
the
you,
rest doesn't matter. Like
yeah.
oh, so
Like,
you
if
come
they
from-
told me, they were like, I don't really like being given a blowjob, then I'd be like, okay, cool, then I won't give you a blowjob. But I would probably want to do it just myself, because I'd be like, but I want to give you a blowjob.
and then what happens in that negotiation?
Basically, I
It's
just
like
wouldn't-
rock paper scissors.
Well, like, I'd be like, well, then what do you want to do? And then he'll be like, tie me down and maybe wear this diaper or something. No, he wouldn't do that. Like,
damn girl.
yeah. Shit.
Well, that's interesting because do you feel like that's something that's more predominant in terms of like a gay sexual relationship? Because when I guess, or maybe like it's not the same straight like male female relationships. Because I feel like the willingness of a participant in terms from a female. It's more to do with like how they feel about a person. Like if they really like the person, they're more willing to be like they're more willing to like be sexually adventurous or.
I'm sure there's some girls out there who are cock hungry sluts.
Absolutely.
that word.
But I'm saying like on average maybe. Would you say that your feelings about how it's the cock not the person is prevalent throughout the community? Like you feel like most guys would feel that way.
I feel like a lot of guys on Grindr have that mentality when they're on Grindr. Like, I don't think that's just the entire mentality. Like, I find it very difficult to... Like, I couldn't just go over to someone's house and not know what they looked like and not really care, and then just, like, it's like, oh, fucking leave your load in me, and then just, like, shut the door. Like, that's... Yeah, I see those videos on Pornhub, like, I'm not doing that. Like, no, I just, like, I don't, like... It's not about separating them, it's just, like, if you have a pretty face and you also have a nice cock, that's great. If you've got a pretty face and an average cock, that's also great. If you've got a nice face and an ugly dick, then poor you. Like, that's just...
Oh wow! Okay.
That's
Yeah, but I'd
Pretty much,
like,
yeah.
dicks aren't I don't find them intrinsically attractive. They're just fucking like meat poles with like veins and shit coming out of them. And, like, it's like a vagina. I look at that thing, I'm like, whoa.
Even as a straight guy, like vaginas kind of gross me out as well. So,
and it's, like they're fucking human genitalia. Like they're not supposed to be pretty.
But that's the thing, though. I think like in terms of aesthetics, it's easier to say that you can find like a pretty dick than to say you can find a pretty vagina. I feel like there's more.
But they can make your
penises.
vagina pretty though.
I wouldn't
You can all
know.
like tuck it in and like
Right,
suck it
yeah.
out and
It's
patch it
easier
plastic.
But that feels like very fake, doesn't it? Because like,
Well, yeah.
you can't really do anything to like make your own penis more attractive, can
I
you?
think people do. I don't know if there's like some tribe. I think it's in Papua New Guinea or something where they like inject coconut oil into their dicks, but then the coconut oil like hardens, so it's like getting like bad lip filler, and their dicks like fall off. So, yeah.
Where do they get the needles in the first place?
I don't. I think from just like the missionaries or something doing like clinics. Or something
Jesus
like that. But yeah,
Christ.
I think like that's it. Like they use dirty needles, and I think they all have like fairly small penises there, so it's weird. Yeah, but like yeah, big penises. Who cares? I don't. If I see that, I'm just like scared more than anything.
So it actually is one of those things where if some guy is very attractive, but he's got like sort of like a really unattractive penis, like a kind of like a fucked up penis, it really does. It kind of straight away just ruins that.
But like define
yeah.
what is fucked up. Like like some people would be like, oh, it curves slightly to the right. That's fucked up. Like
Okay, sure. What if it curves like almost like fucking 90 degrees? Like
if I can't use it, then he can just be fucked. Like I guess that's the thing about like heterosexual relationships and like homosexual ones. Because in a male-female relationship, like unless the lady's really into pegging, it's pretty much your roles are pretty much just like
set, okay.
yeah. But like guys, there's how attractive like there could be this really like muscular jock, but he really wants to get fucked up the ass, and it's like. There's a bit more duality within a person, I think, with their sexuality when you're homosexual, because there's your gender and how you perceive, and then there's actually your sexuality and like what actually turns you on.
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's
sure.
true.
But I mean, that also having said that, it means that you don't really have a choice if you have a fucked up dick, right? Like if you have a dick that's unusable, then you're kind of forced into that role. So
Yeah.
they would never really have that choice when themselves to like go, well, I want to be a top or whatever.
This is kind of like going into the other question about the moon later facing Atlantic.
yeah. So they kind of do intertwine. So like it actually, in my mind, it actually you're right. It is more, maybe not feasible, but it's more advantageous to be slightly more unattractive but have like a really great looking dick. Like I feel like.
But then it's like, how do you get to the stage where you're showing people your dick if you're not that attractive?
Oh, I
Basically,
guess.
Dick pics
you
are
go
a
on
thing.
Grind, yeah, you just go on Grindr and just show them your dick. Like,
Or just have like a really winning personality, maybe.
yeah, maybe. Actually, no, wait, Snapchat's really good. There's a lot of like amateur dudes just sending out nudes to anyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't they lock that shit down in terms of nudity on Snapchat?
No.
No. And I'm sure there's girl versions for, like the straights out there.
Yeah.
There was
Readers.
Oh, God.
I feel like that's so interesting because in terms of vaginas, I don't really care.
What it looks like.
And I'm sure most guys don't care as well. Like, most straight guys don't care if...
I think
Even if you have to eat it?
Yeah. I think,
Really?
Yeah. Because
Oh.
at the end of the day, like, maybe it is that mentality of, like, if it's just something I'm going to stick my dick into, then it doesn't really matter, or like how attractive it is. Because you don't really get an instance where you talk to a straight guy and go, oh, would you rather... Like, if this was, like, an all, like, straight cast, okay, and I went, would you rather have a chick with, like, a really attractive face or, like, a really attractive vagina? Like, I can guarantee it's most likely going to be, all
Yeah, I think that's
all of them would
pretty
say, she has to be hot, But having said that, though, it's interesting that it's the opposite way around, because you would think that there's a lot of stock that's taken into how attractive you are as like a gay guy, because I feel like there's a lot more pressure actually as a gay person to be attractive. Like, do you find like that's the case?
Yeah.
And I feel like it must be like a lot more difficult. It's kind of like going from, like, if I were to be straight and I went, okay, I'm going to be gay, and for like a day or something, and I went from Tinder to Grindr, it'd be like a completely different ball game. And like,
True.
Yeah, and you'll have a big advantage if you have a nice cock.
yeah, and that seems like it's slightly unfair as well, because something with your face, I feel like maybe you can change about that, or you could even like have your personality shine through that.
You could change
right?
the cock maybe.
But not unless you inject it with
yeah,
cum.
you could do weightlifting exercises.
Yeah,
I saw some
that's
chick
true.
doing vaginal weightlifting exercises on Instagram.
What the fuck? What is the vagina?
It's like just you like put them in your vagina and you're like,
Hang it and
What?
weightlift.
Yeah.
Just hanging like watermelons from a vagina.
so she can hold that watermelon like on a string and attach the watermelon like up
It's
her.
more like a rope.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's just like testing like how strong like.
She can train
She's
her
not
muscle.
testing. She's working out. Like,
Well, she knows.
yeah.
Right, so how many of you guys here have had like a sexual experience with vagina?
Like kind of like one time in maths class, like
Oh.
no, but it was just through underwear, like it was really boring class.
So it's just.
yeah. That was about it.
Would you say that But everyone's seen a vagina though, yeah. So
I know what they look like. I'm aware of them.
In real life or on a computer screen?
oh, in real life.
I've seen like girlfriends' vaginas like being drunk
Like-
at parties in the toilet, and they just like let it all out.
Surprisingly, I haven't, even though I had a girlfriend for over a few years.
Good job.
But stay true to the
I
cause.
did.
Yes.
Make her come a lot of times with my finger.
But you never
But I
watch.
never-
How does it work? You just kind of just like close your eyes and finger bang it.
So you had an experience with the vagina. You just went like looking at it.
No, we were just wearing clothes and I just put my finger down there while we were making out. Sort of.
Just kind of like.
Just lost moody. Yeah.
I just kind of imagine you just like I don't really know what you'd be doing with your finger. Just like that's nice.
Make the noises.
That's it. Yeah, that would get her off. Hot tip from the gays.
That's
Like,
orgasms there.
well, wow. She's probably regretting that now.
So here's the thing about blowjobs, right? Is that there's a school of thought that at the end of the day, a blowjob is just a blowjob, okay, regardless of who's giving it. So like, if you close your eyes, you know, right, you can't tell whether or not it's
Like I'm not gay, but $20 is $20. So.
exactly.
Yeah,
Right?
cool.
So,
Okay.
so like if you close your eyes, it doesn't matter like, you know, what gender that person is or, you know, how attractive or ugly they are.
Yeah. I mean, like most of the time I'm being given head, I'm closing my eyes and thinking of something else anyway. So. Why have I been given
Yeah, I
head?
think that's mostly true. As long as they don't smell and if the hands aren't too freakishly weird when touching you.
Do you think you can tell between a guy and a girl? Like, just based on technique?
Well, I mean, like, yeah, obviously guys have facial hair and stuff. Like, if someone had
yeah.
a really smooth mouth and everything, you probably assume they're
Oh, yeah, so facial hair, sure. But what about in terms of like technique? Do you reckon there's like a difference in...
I feel like guys probably have a better understanding.
Yeah.
But I think that's also just a gay thing that we all assume. Also, some guys are still just terrible at giving head. So, like...
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing I want to ask about because like if most guys would think that, I would assume, especially as like a gay guy, you would think that, or you want to believe that you give great head, right? Is that like, I'm guessing, is that like a pride thing that you would think to yourself, if someone asks you, hey, do you suck good dick? You'd be like, yeah, of course I do. You know, like is that
It's on my CV, like... I mean, like, I guess it's a good skill to have, but it's so objective. Like, you don't know what everyone likes. Like, some people do like teeth, some people don't like teeth. Some people want you to, like, look at them intently while you're doing it, and some people, like, don't look at you at all.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, like, there should still be like a baseline, right, of what is like, considered like a good blowjob or a bad blowjob, regardless of your own preference.
But yeah.
But then how do you, in what situation, what circumstance do you then have a guy that has experience with penis that still is unable to give a good blowjob? Like, how does that happen? Like, if they know how they like
Maybe
it...
they're just rusty.
They
Maybe...
Or they're just
No
really
desire
bad.
to improve.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, they're
Maybe
just like,
don't
whatever.
care.
Oh, so it's like, I know I suck at sucking dick,
Yeah,
so
maybe-
I'm just not gonna...
They just prefer to receive it and then they don't really...
Maybe
come
they
back
just
to it.
enjoy sucking and don't really care how the other person feels. But
Well, they've
he's
just
having
never
so much
had
fun
someone be
eating his
like,
cock.
hey, can you
Yeah.
not, like, grate my dick with your teeth? Maybe that's just never come up in conversation. Like, it's kind of awkward. Like, I still kind of don't really know when someone's doing that. Like, if it hurts, like, I don't know how to be like, stop. And, like, try something else. It's very... it ruins the flow of the moment. I feel like, so sometimes you just gotta
clench and hope it passes.
much.
Okay, so what? There's still like a sense of politeness, is there? Or is it politeness, or is it just awkwardness to speak up about it?
Like it's probably better not to be like that.
Both.
It's definitely better to communicate fully what you're feeling. Like, so that's good. But yeah, like I guess it's back to that pride thing. Like, you don't want to make the other person feel like they're doing
Feel bad? Oh, okay, sure.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever had that experience where like someone goes, "Oh, you're doing it wrong," or someone's going like, "Oh, that's not the way I like it." Has anyone ever like been?
No
that
one's ever
vocal with
been
you?
like
Only
condescending about it.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
you're fucked up. What are you doing down there? Oh shit! I'm like yelling. No. But like, no, people like they let you know. They make that weird like noise, and you're like, okay, sorry.
Yeah, Sago lets me
That's like the
know.
universal.
It seems so civil, actually.
I feel like there's a lot more
It's like a
communication.
transaction.
Yeah, because like when you're gay, you have to talk about. You have to know exactly what's going on. You'd be like, this is what I'm into. Don't do this. Don't put that there. No.
I
So,
mean,
like,
in a straight relationship as well, if you are having sex with a girl and you guys talk about what feels good and what doesn't, right?
well, like, would you ever talk to a girl and be like, and if she was like, look, I just don't like getting fingered, like, would that ever come up as a conversation?
Yeah, I guess it would. But I feel like that's also dependent on how open both people are.
Yeah, like if that was like like you had a date and the second time she was like, we're never gonna fuck, but don't finger me. You'd be like, okay, wow. Like, but do you feel like most girls in your experience are that open?
No way. Which is what's interesting, because in that sense, I feel like because you're in a situation where I feel like gay guys have like that sort of rules, like, okay, I'm into this, and they have to lay down that foundation. It feels like you guys would have at the end of the day like a lot healthier sexual relationship with people than straight. I say couples, but like, than straight people do, essentially, because at the very end of the day, there's still like I guess like maybe even just like a lack of understanding, because obviously as a guy with a dick and you have another guy with a dick, you kind of understand, like, there's established things that you understand about each other's physiology, whereas when you have like a guy and chick, like, you don't know what it feels like to have a vagina, she doesn't know what it feels like to have a dick, and so there may be things that you don't know what to bring up, or you never even thought about bringing it up.
Yeah,
And
so
then
I don't think it's like, it doesn't make it easy when you're both guys, because you're like, because we're both guys, we both got guy brains. Like, everyone's still different.
Oh, okay, sure. So it still comes down to the person. You don't think that gay guys have healthier sexual relationships than?
I think
than
it's
straight
probably,
couples?
honestly, you feel like you probably assume that you have a better understanding of what your partner's feeling, but you don't. Like, you filter everything with the fact, like, we're both guys, so, like, this is how we handle things, but everyone handles emotions differently, like, especially in a relationship. Like, that's completely, the way you act in a relationship is completely different from how you react with all of your friends and all of your family.
Sure.
Like, it's really hard to kind of quantify what someone's going to be like in that relationship based on their other relationships with the people in their lives. So you don't really know what people are going to be like.
No, that's good. So we went on a bit of a detour.
We did.
But I was just going to say, so if it was like someone from the opposite sex, right, and they were the ones that had to give you the blowjob, first 90% or last 10%.
Probably.
Like, would your answer have changed from your initial answer, knowing that it's someone from the opposite sex?
I wouldn't want to get 90% of a blowjob from a woman.
Why though?
Because I can just imagine her like doing
it's
it,
like
looking up at me.
girl,
Does that
just
make
stop.
you feel weird? No.
Just save yourself, like, whatever. Do the 10%.
For
You know what
science,
I
I
mean?
would do the 90%.
For science.
For science?
Just to, yeah.
I
Just
mean,
so
yeah, if
how
a girl
good-
was going to give me head, it probably would only be the 90%.
Is it assuming
Oh, right.
she's good as well?
Yeah, if she's like a world-class blowjobber, like, if she's the best.
Oh, she's the best.
If she's like the best, then obviously the 90%.
Yeah, if she's the best in the world, you're like, well, I just want to find out how
Yeah.
good she is.
Like,
Like,
come in her
it's
mouth. Like,
objective.
that's rude.
I just choked a little bit because when you said the best, I imagined thought of have you seen that video of that black woman with the grapefruit? Oh my gosh, she makes that noise. Oh fuck.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay, so like there's this video of like this black chick and she teaches people how to give blowjobs.
Oh.
And she uses the grapefruit and when she makes this noise like
Yeah, I would like to experience that.
yeah, dude, it sounds intense as fuck.
That sounds so delicious.
Yeah.
Let's get a grapefruit.
Yeah, so that's what I mean by like if at the end of the day like that train of thought where blowjob's just a blowjob regardless of it's a guy or girl, Because that's interesting, right?
How about you, Meng? What would you choose?
Yeah.
If it was the first...
If it was a guy, would you choose the first 90?
Okay, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I'd choose the last 10%. Okay, in no matter if it's a guy or girl, it's because there's a character flaw within me, which is that I don't like delaying gratification. I'm really bad at that. You know, like holding off on something so you can get like a more positive outcome. I don't do that, right? So if I want to come, I want to come. If I want like instant enjoyment of something, I want instant enjoyment of something.
Okay,
So I don't want to take that risk that, maybe like, maybe if it's the first 90% and she's really good at it, that's an enjoyable experience. But like, I'm not willing to take that risk. I'd rather just, what
if you know that she's not gonna make you come, but you are allowed to come by jerking off onto like her face
Her thigh.
or his face?
Well, here's the thing. See, like, I'm in that. I guess I'm in that school of I enjoy, or I like the concept of cum shots, right? Or like the money shot, and I think it's because there's something very not romantic, but there's something very like exhilarating about taking something that's like pure and unmodified, like someone's face, and then just fucking all over it, like
Create art on their face.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like creating chaos within order, like something. It makes sense, your eye, everything's here, everything's right, your nose is meant to be there, your mouth's meant to be there, your eyes meant to be there, and then you just go and then you just fuck that shit up, There's something very beautiful about that.
So would that change if you could choose a 90% and then jerk off onto their face?
But would that feeling change if it was a guy that you were doing it? Well, obviously, because you're not sexually attracted to them. Because, like, I feel like that... I had conversations with other straight guys, and they've said that, like, being attracted to women is really weird, I guess, societally, more than anything else, because there's this one part of you that wants to kind of, like, protect her and, like, treat her really good, and then the other one that wants to do, like, terrible, depraved things to her. Yeah. And make her call you daddy and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, I guess guys do that, but it's not, because there's no kind of, like, we're both guys, we're kind of equal. But, like, with men and women, there's a little bit more of a kind of, like...
It's more of a sensitive topic.
Yeah. So it's like as a guy, if I was going to come on a guy's face, I'd be like, oh, your face is so beautiful and pure and I'm going to destroy it. Like, no, I don't know. I would pretty much just do it if he was like, I want you to come on my face. Cool. I'd probably just rather like come in his ass. Like,
yeah, but see, that's the thing, because I don't really like to think about it as like a gender thing. But I understand like where most guys come from, where you have that that disparity between, or the disconnect between like, you the protective side because she's like a dainty female almost, and then the part that you just want to really like plow her, But for me, I feel like the gender, I don't really like the assignment of gender roles, right? Like I don't really feel like it should be any different how you view a woman sexually versus how you view a man sexually, right? Like if you want to protect them, you should want to protect them regardless of if they're a guy or a chick. Yeah. Not because you view one as weak or the other.
Not because like he puts his penis in me, because he's going to protect me. It's like don't have to be like that.
Yeah, because that's almost like almost like a fairy tale, right? Like that's almost like backwards thinking, right? If you go, I mean, because like, is there an established like role like that for you guys? Like, if like you're an assigned bottom, then you go, naturally this guy is meant to be the most dominant, and therefore he needs to be the one that protects me. Is there like that assigned role?
I don't think so.
I think it depends.
Yeah, it depends.
It
Because
really
like some
depends
people
on
get
the
off
other
on
person.
that. Yeah, like some people could want to have those kind of roles and like have more of a, like, that's probably getting more back into BDSM and like dominant submissive thing. But yeah, but like other guys are verse, so they kind of just do both. So it's not really like an assigned role either.
It's a preference.
Yeah. See, that's good, because it's the fact that you get that option, right? Well, not option, but you get that freedom, where I feel like it's so like basic, or it's kind of like very honest for you to say, we have a choice to have that assigned role, whereas in most straight relationships you don't get that, right? You don't get that. You get that assigned role that, hey, you're the guy, you have to be the protective one, you're the chick, you're meant to
Be pretty.
be pretty submissive,
Give me
right?
kids. Whatever.
It's like a social construct, though.
Exactly.
Well, it is. And
What is gender, guys?
And so, in terms of like a blowjob, right, I feel like it just depends on your own mentality of how you view gender roles, right? Because if it wouldn't make no difference for me in my decision if it was a guy sucking my dick or if it was a lady.
Okay.
It's all just about how you come, really.
Yeah.
Like how you prefer your blowjobs.
It's exactly
like,
that.
If you like it for the experience, or you just like it for the ejaculation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would there be any situation where the gender would matter?
No.
I'm like
Skill.
so you really are just all about like the feeling that my penis feels really good and I'm gonna come. That's all you're about.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, that's kind of selfish. But I mean, in another way, it's very noble to not
Very
see-
progressive. Yeah. It's like I don't see gender. I just want to fuck everyone.
And I think that's it. Because at the end of the day, like, it really does depend on your own skill set as well, right? So, like, you can have guys that are really good at sucking dick and really bad at sucking dick, and you can have girls that are really good at sucking dick.
Yeah, so
and
what if you had
really
the
bad
choice between the best gay guy, or just best guy, it could be a straight guy
Yeah.
even, the
Yeah.
best guy giving a blowjob,
Yep.
versus the third best girl at giving a blowjob, who would you choose?
But then how do you know where they compare against
Yeah.
each
You
other?
don't know.
Blowjob
Don't
test.
You don't know. You just gotta go with a gut feeling. Oh,
But the third
Guys
best
might
in
be
the
better.
entire world would still be pretty good.
Yeah, it's only
Like,
2 ranks down.
but then you gotta.
yeah. 2 ranks down just to get with
If
a
he's
woman.
straight
Yeah.
Well, you might want to assume that guys are a lot better than girls at the same
it's
time.
like tennis.
Okay, no, wait, but in that situation, though, but
Yeah,
what
it's
if
like
the
tennis.
third best girl is ugly, but the guy is really hot?
Yeah, we'll go for that as well.
So it's also about like their attractiveness, even though you're not attracted to that gender.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Then
So you go with the hot guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like, I mean, if he's
Hot
the
guy,
best,
hot blowjob.
if look, that's like saying, look, if he's the best, why would you not want to experience that? Like,
Okay, then.
regardless of your own sexuality or whatever. Like, if this guy's the best, then you should have no fears about, like, even if you were like 100%
He's a
straight.
professional. He's going to do a good job.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
what
what
if money's worth?
He's the best because he's had lots of experience and he's 100 years old.
What the fuck?
Oh, so now he's,
How the fuck is he?
yeah, he can't be hot and 100 years old.
Yeah, so he's
No
not
teeth.
hot. He's not hot.
Somehow George Clooney has discovered the fountain of youth.
Yes. Ooh.
And then this woman is, let's just say, 40s, average midlife.
I feel like he's adding like random attributes
Yeah.
that
Like,
kind of clouding the
making them both. Like if that came near me, like 100-year-old man came near my dick, my dick would go inside itself. Like,
It's so good because it's got no teeth, right?
yeah.
oh,
Actually,
That gummy feeling.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hey,
they should make like false teeth for like geriatric old gay men that have like just kind of like a fleshlight, but like so they could just like pop it in and be like. That's the noise I'll make.
Okay.
I'll get on that.
I feel like yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
go.
So the whole hot guy, the first best thing, would you get a blowjob from the best girl in the world who was also hot, or would you prefer the third best guy but ugly? Like,
I go the guy. Yeah. Still, I just.
is that just because you're gay as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because I don't value blowjobs. Like, I'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather have sex.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure. Oh, so
Yeah.
you're
I'm
kind of
biased.
going. Well, what comes after that? Or?
Yeah, pretty much. Just like, great, she made me come, and like,
Depends how hot
You can
she is
cuddle
and how
him.
ugly he is.
yeah.
Which is the hottest girl? Like,
Oh, the hottest girl.
hottest girl with the hottest blowjob. Like, it's
Okay.
just opposite of the
And
question
how about
you
the
asked me.
how about the guy?
The guy is like, you said the girl was ugly, like the third best girl, right?
Yeah, it's
Just
the
an
third
ugly
best
guy.
girl was ugly.
Yeah,
but
so
the
this
first
is the
guy's
third
hot.
best guy is
I'll
ugly.
go with the girl.
Would you cuddle afterwards?
If
Would she
had
cuddle?
a
Like-
nice body and boobs to touch and ass to squeeze, yeah.
You're a traitor.
Why would you do
You're
that?
not true to the cause.
No. We'll talk about this in the next meeting.
What about you, Sago?
I think it would have to be a guy. Like,
Because you have no faith that the hottest chick with the best blowjobs because of the world still wouldn't be an enjoyable experience.
it's just not something I'd prefer. Like, you know.
But is there no element of curiosity on your part? Oh wow!
It's so mortifying. Like,
Yeah.
the thought of having an
The thought of a girl like holding my dick and like looking at it and like smiling or like being like I want to get on that and be like like no, that's not for you. Like,
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing though. So, what is it about that's mortifying? So, like, when you take away the element of like any of the genitals, right? So, when we have no vagina involved, right, and
Yeah.
we're just talking about a blowjob, okay, what's the mortifying thing about having
it's
like a
just
woman?
not right. It's probably just what Christians think about us. It's just it's in your head. You're just kind of like, no, that's not gonna happen. Like, like I'd have to close my eyes and like, think of some porn I'd watch. So like, it would just be shameful.
So there's actually like just no element of curiosity at all from the two of you. Just okay.
I just don't want to put my dick in a girl's mouth. I respect women too much to do that. I don't really care about guys. Like,
And-
men are disgusting.
And I mean, like, I know that normal porn, like, I know the porn isn't like real life, but like, just watching some straight porn and just the way the girls like the noises that come out of their mouths.
What if
Or like weird mewling.
What does that sound like?
I'm not doing.
It's the sound of a good blowjob.
Oh.
It's like a grapefruit.
The grapefruit.
So what if the two choices were, the first choice is you have a really ugly guy who gives really bad head, but your second choice is someone who gives really good head, but there's a 50-50 chance that is a woman. Which choice would you pick?
What?
So one's like a glory hole one.
Yeah, like it's the whole like glory hole experience. It doesn't even matter how ugly they look.
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
but
it's just the head quality.
you don't.
Well, I guess that's the other thing, glory holes. What are your thoughts?
You have to take that risk to choose, and then you don't go to a glory hole. You go into a room. So there's a 50-50 chance that
So
you're
just
going to be
like a dark room.
You have to go through this terrifying blowjob from a woman, but it's a 50-50 chance that would be a really hot guy. Would you take that chance?
So if it was like a free blowjob glory hole, and you could choose between that or going...
Wait,
to
are
a-
not all glory holes free?
Oh yeah, yes, that well, it depends where you go.
Depends on
Sorry to detour a bit. What's if you had to pay for a glory hole experience?
Oh, I
what's-
mean, you know,
what is
like
that?
in brothels, like Amsterdam, like that kind of shit.
Okay,
like,
gotcha.
you know,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so back to the thing. So
Yeah.
So would you take the risk?
No.
Wait, is it a bad blowjob from the guy?
Yeah,
Bad
he's-
blowjob from
lots
the
of
ugly
teeth.
guy.
Lots of
Well, no, I just wouldn't choose that. But like, so I feel like also in this situation, I'm being forced to have a blowjob either way. It's like, why did I just walk away? Weird, like, sore room, and it's like a dude tries to go in the corner, be like, "You're gonna take a dick." Don't want that. I'm walking away from something.
Well, I'll take the 50-50. Like, it's like a 100% chance to have a bad blowjob or a 50% chance to, like, be sort of upset.
Sort of
like,
But would
if
you
it was a blowjob,
even
like,
be able to
whatever.
tell the difference? Like, if it was a glory hole, would you even be able to tell the difference? If it was, you wouldn't even know, right? If it was a woman versus a guy sucking a dick, you wouldn't know
Yeah.
through the glory hole.
No.
Which
But
is
yeah, I don't think, if it's a glory hole, then I wouldn't know.
And then also, like, glory holes in themselves, like, so only some people are into that. Like, I don't know, I don't want to stick my dick. I'd be afraid of it getting, like, bitten off or just something happening to it over there. I don't know what's going on. Can't see what they're doing. No glory hole.
Oh, okay. But I mean, that's a bit of an irrational fear, though, isn't it? Because I mean,
It could be someone with, like, venereal diseases or, like, they could have cold sores on their mouth. You don't know. Because you can't see anything. They could have, like, no teeth and, like, gum disease that, like... I don't know if that can get on your dick, but I feel like... that's something I want to know. Yeah.
but do you have that, like, if
Really
you,
variables.
when you're doing, like, when you're meeting up random, like, do you ever do, like, the random hookups? On
I
Grindr and
have
stuff?
on occasion.
Okay, is there that same fear? Like, do you have that same irrational fear where, like, what if we hook up and this guy wants to give me a blowjob? What if he bites my dick? Do you have that feel? Is there like a feel like that?
Well, no, because I can, like, see him giving me head, and...
Yeah, but
so,
I mean, you can watch him, but there's nothing to stop. Like, you know,
You're like,
I suppose, yeah. There's a lot of trust in oral sex in general. Or, like...
Yeah, pretty much anyone could bite your dick off and you.
Or, like, bite your clit off if you're a
fucked.
girl.
Yeah.
You know? Like
So-
a date.
but I feel like that's like a. I would hope actually that that's sort of like a no-no, right? That no matter what kind of background you have or what kind of sexuality you have, that biting of any genitalia is just like a thing with this inside you. You know, like how you have that sort of instill morals and values, but like, you shouldn't kick innocent animals, or you shouldn't kill people. I guess
Shouldn't
like
bite
you shouldn't bite
genitalia.
genitalia, right? It should just be this thing that is like inbred within you that you don't have to like you didn't have to learn, right? You
it's
just
in
know
our
it.
DNA.
I think it's something. It's it's like from the Bible, like do unto others as you would do to yourself. Like you wouldn't bite someone else's genitalia because you wouldn't know what someone
Exactly.
doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
It's fine.
Exactly. And it's so weird that people have that sort of fear, though, isn't it? Because I feel like at some point in time, someone has thought about, oh shit, what if someone bit my dick off? But like, what the chance of that happening
People
is like
have had
how
their
much?
dicks bitten off though. People get their dicks cut off.
Oh yeah, but I
Usually
mean,
in Germany, and then they get like eaten by some dude. Like it's always really weird.
yeah, but I mean, I think in most of those cases, it's because like it's like a relationship thing, isn't it?
Or they're like cannibals or something. There was that guy that like put an ad out for him like to be eaten by some
Pretty
guy.
sure that was Germany, yeah.
Yeah, they're good people. They do great work.
They're very efficient. I know.
Supporting the gay agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, so just on one final thing, so that we can establish, I guess, and because it's something that I talked about in like a previous podcast, but I think I had to cut it out or edit it out, was what would you consider like the baseline techniques into giving great head, right? So what, in terms of like a great blowjob, what do you consider like, because obviously everyone has different, preferences and all that stuff, but there should be like a foundation, right? Like, even if you like all this other shit, there has to be like a foundation of what is good, right? Good technique.
Well, number one, no teeth.
No teeth.
Hands down, number one rule.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like good suction around the head is very important. Like the area where the head and the shaft join. That's pretty much like spend a lot of time on that bit as you're going up and down.
And how do you determine good suction, right? Because like, can you?
I feel like you almost want to be trying to give them a hickey on their dick.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, hopefully you don't actually do that because I feel like that would be really painful. But like, yeah, you just kind of want that extra level, like something beyond just, like, I'm bobbing my head up and down. No one can see that, but yeah.
Okay, no, but
Yeah, you need to actively be sucking. Like it's
Use
not,
your tongue.
it's not a
Yeah,
blowjob,
your
it's a suck job. Like you need to,
Yeah.
that's it. And use your tongue. Yeah.
Okay.
And your hands. And you've got hands.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right?
Do what
So-
you can.
Hands, no, hands is like if someone's using hands, it's when you know they're tired and they're just like, you just fucking come. Like,
But I mean, like, what the hand should really be like
Playing with the
a
balls.
supporting actor, right? So you should be like, doing other
play with
things.
balls, play with like the arse, play with
gooch.
paint. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. Like play with their nipples.
Okay.
Um,
So, yeah. Sorry, go on.
Is there anything else?
That's just the basics. Like, if you can do that, then you're already like not bad.
I don't
think.
know how do you feel about moaning? Like you're
if
if
you're
you're
giving?
giving and you're moaning. It feels a bit weird, doesn't
Yeah.
it? But then it also kind of feels. I think it's just porn. It's like talking about something I should be doing. Like, should we try to talk to them while?
If you're really enjoying it and you can't help it, then
Yeah, that's
straight
true.
stop.
If it's a really big dick, you can moan, but if it's a really small dick, I think it's a bit weird to moan.
It's kind of almost patronising. They're like, okay,
So you have in instances moaned because you felt like there's an obligation to moan.
I think sometimes I moan because I thought it would make him come quicker. Let me just set the scene, like just be like, oh, maybe I'm gonna come. Maybe I'm gonna come.
Does it ever work?
I think it's worked a few times. Like, yeah, sometimes you kind of like trick them into coming because they're like, oh, he's definitely gonna come. So they're like, oh, I'm too. It's a honey trap.
So I feel like the one big thing is tongue, right? But there's I think maybe a lot of confusion around what it is that despite whether you're a guy or a girl that's giving head, what to do with the tongue.
Well, there's a lot of things you can do.
I think
Yeah.
the best is using the tongue as a strong muscle. So,
What do you mean a strong muscle?
like pushing against the penis. So, let's say the tongue's at the bottom of the penis, then you're pushing up.
So kind of like pushing
okay.
up along as it goes in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure, okay.
Like-
Just acting like almost like a counterweight almost.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
what?
Like a counterweight.
It's like a hand holding the dick, but it's your tongue. Sorry,
That
I
slides
just
up and
visualised
down.
that. Let me show you on this very small can code. No. Yeah, tongue and
I feel like that works the best.
pretty much.
Okay, cool. Or
I think a lot of guys might think that using the tongue and going softly around might do a lot of work,
Yeah.
but I don't think it actually does that much work.
And also, like find out what guys like having done with their balls. Some guys are different. Some guys don't like anything with their balls. Some guys like, like little dicks. Some guys like you will put the whole thing in your mouth and like gargle it around.
Yeah.
Well, not gargle.
Well, wait. The whole thing is you mean like the dick and balls all in?
Oh no! That's the whole
Right.
That's
Oh, right. I was like, that's super impressive when you do that.
really weird. But yeah, like just find out what's going on down there. Maybe they just want you to pull their balls. Some guys are into that. CBT.
And
Just ask.
and the maintaining like eye contact. That's like a purely personal thing. I feel like.
Yeah.
I think they only do that in porn.
Oh no!
Some guys like it.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's more of a like person because like you might have a really intense connection with someone and that you just kind of want to actually look at them while you're doing stuff sexually.
Yeah,
but then other times you kind of just feel like I'm probably thinking of like 6 other guys that have fucked me. Like yeah, so it just really depends.
Okay. All right. So to wrap up, we went on a really long and good detour actually, but so final head count. We'll do both. We'll do giving and receiving. Okay. So if it's giving, first 90% or last 10%. Isaac.
Giving would be. I feel like working out of my head. 10%.
Okay. Yeah. Merv.
I don't know. So it still really depends on the guy.
Oh right.
Or the
Let's just say average everything. Average stats.
Average
dick.
stats.
Average face. Average stats.
So I can like
I don't
choose
average.
the guy beforehand, but I don't know what his dick looks like. I just chose the guy randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I'll probably go with the 90 for giving.
Okay. Sago.
I'd choose the 10%.
Okay.
Get it over and done with. It's a transaction. I'm done.
Okay. I feel like I'm kind of torn between the 10% and the 90% because, like, obviously in terms of like laziness, that lazy part of me says, yeah, do the 10%. But then the pride in me goes, fuck. I reckon maybe I can help this guy enjoy this journey. Fuck it, let's see how
I reckon if
90%
you're
goes.
going out wanting to give a blowjob, you want to enjoy the ride, but maybe you don't want him to come in your mouth.
Depends how long
Oh,
you
yeah,
have to
that's
suck for as well. Like, if
But if you're out there if you're out there looking for a blowjob,
Yeah, I'm
you
actually-
just want a cum shot.
Yeah, I guess it does depend because that's a big ego thing, right? Like if you've selected the 90% and this guy takes like forever to get to that precipice, because that's what I would consider like the last 10%, right? The precipice, right? So if it takes forever to get to that precipice, then that would kind of hurt your ego. Like I feel like that would hurt my ego, right? As someone that's never sucked dick in my life, like I feel like if it took me like a fucking long time to get a guy to that point, I feel like that's my bad. You know?
But then
I
like
fucked up.
like someone like me, if you were sucking my dick, I'd be like, you could probably try as long as you want. It's not going to do anything. So if they have a hurt ego, it's just like, no, I just don't really like it. Like, it doesn't matter if it's you, it doesn't matter if it's someone else, it doesn't matter if it's like the hottest guy or the hottest girl, probably not going to come.
Yeah, but see, that's very logical. But I feel like
Be sex, you're not logical.
yeah, exactly. Like I would feel like that's a really pride thing. I'm like, it's kind of like despite how you feel about that, I should still be good enough to get to the email.
Yeah, I should be able to play that.
Yeah, it's like a really pride thing.
I'm the exception. Like,
Yeah, everyone wants to be the exception, not the rule. Yeah. Okay, so receiving. All right, my is clear. Like I want that last 10%. So
10%. Okay.
Oh wow, you changed.
Oh, did
Because
I?
you went first 90% because you said that you've never received that.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I just go 10%. I just feel like, if it was all about pleasure, I'd be like, let's just get it over and done with, and we can go do something else.
You never know. You might like just blow your mind if you ever get there.
Maybe one day we'll find out. I'll let you all know.
Murph? Receiving.
I don't know.
oh my god,
I feel like you're like the lost sheep of the bunch.
he just wants the full 100%.
He's like, I just want the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really hard choice, and it always depends. But on average, I'll probably have to go with the 10%.
Okay.
Because in average, I only get the 90 and don't get to come after. I'll be pretty sexually frustrated.
Yeah.
So probably.
Yeah, the blue balls thing is kind of a big deal as well, I think. Despite like whatever says about it's the journey, not the destination. Like, come on, like it kind of sucks if you journey for a long time to get to the destination.
And then you just get blue balls. And
I mean, if you could jerk off after in a really hot way, then maybe I would choose it.
Can it just be in a non-hot way? Like,
Why do you have to jerk off in a hot way?
How do you jerk off in a non-hot way?
Wearing like a nightie from your grandma and a wig from your grandma. That would be really
People pay to
unsexy.
see that stuff.
They'd pay to see it, but they wouldn't be hot. Like, yeah, good. Okay.
All right, Sago, last one.
10%.
10%. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, I feel like
We are the 10%.
yeah, 10% consensus. Take the last 10% if you get given the choice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So thanks a lot, guys, for joining today. Next week, we'll have a new question with a new panel. As always, you can follow us on Facebook, Would We Rather, on Twitter, @Would We Rather, as well as on Instagram, Would We Rather Official. All episodes will be up on iTunes, as well as the website. And so thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.